Hey everyone, welcome back to KT Sessions. In today's video, we are diving into the error handling actions, an essential feature for building reliable and robust automations workflow. I'll guide you through the basic and demonstrate simple examples to get you started. So let's jump in. Error handling in Power Automate ensures your automation continues to work even when things don't go as planned. It's particularly useful when dealing with dynamic environments where unexpected errors can occur. Alright, so let's get started. When we go to our flow and here in the action pane, when we search for error, we can see two actions, get last error and on block error. In the previous session, we saw other flow controls, and as I said in previous video, we'll cover these two actions in the next video. So today we are going to use these actions, get last error and on block error. All right. So first see what are some other important features or the important functionality which Power Automate Desktop provide. So when we use any other action, for example, if I am using this loop stage, loop action. So in this, if I give some incorrect input, for example, if I give alphabet instead of numeric value, so it will give the error here only. You can see we are getting this validation error, invalid value. And if I click on save, then also we can see the errors, parameters, increment by and PMT, parameter start from, expression must contain a numeric value. To handle all these errors, what we can do is we can use error handling. In loop action, we don't have any uh, option to handle the error. But if we go to any other action, for example, if I go to Excel and I select this launch Excel action, so in this we can see this option on error. So what should we do on error? So we can define here. So if I click on this, so here we have a lot of functions. We can use these functions or these features as per our requirements. So for example, I am launching this Excel file and I want, if there is some error, then it should retry automatically. So what we can do is, for that we can enable the retry policy. Here you can see retry policy. As of now, by default this retry policy is none, but what I want is I want to do some retries, and that will be fixed retries. So I want to retry 3 times. So I will select 3 here, and after means how many seconds I want to retry. I want to retry after 5 seconds. Okay, so if there is any error in this action, launch Excel action, so it will retry 3 times and after 5 seconds. Okay, so this is the built-in functionality. I will click on save. So as soon as I click on save, so we can see this icon, and when we take mouse on it, we can see the preview. So we are retry action 3 times every 5 seconds. So if you are seeing any icon, so that means for this action we are handling the errors or we have applied some conditions. So there are two things, retry policy and all errors and advanced. This retry function, for example, I am going to open a document, and let me give the path of the document, and let me change the extension of this document, and in this desktop folder there isn't any document available with the name input-data.txt. Let me show you. So when we go to desktop, there isn't any document. Okay, so it will not get any document and it will throw an error. Okay, so let me click on save, and when we run the flow, it will keep retrying 3 times. You can see the time as well. After every 5 seconds it will retry, and after 3 retry it will throw the error. See, we are getting this error failed to open Excel document, file related error. And when I click on this error details, we can see all the details. Here we have location means on which line we are getting this error. So we are getting error in subflow name is main and line is one, action name is this one. So in location we are getting all the details of the actions, and these are some instruction which we can follow to resolve our error. And in error details we are getting these type of details: correlation ID, document path, save, and all those things. Okay, so after 3 retries we are still getting this error. So what we can do is, now we need to manage this. Means if after our maximum number of retries, if still error exists, then we need to perform some things, perform something to manage this. Either we can throw the error, which we are doing. Means if it is getting fail after 3 retries, we are throwing the error. And we have one more option, continue flow run. So what we want to do is, if the error is still exists, we want to still continue flow run. Means we want to move to the next action. You can see exception handling mode, go to next action, repeat action, and go to label. So for example, if we are getting this error after 3 retries and I want to go to next action, so I will select this, go to next action, and then I will click on save. And in next action we are performing something. For example, in next action is message box, and we are coming here after n. So in some scenarios we perform these type of operations. Means if it is getting failed, then move to next action, like it be. But still, in launch Excel we can't do this, because if we are unable to launch the Excel file, so we won't be able to perform other operations. But in some scenarios we can go to the next step. So now it will retry 3 times and then it will move to the line number 2, because we are continuing the flow. Earlier we were throwing the exception. So you can continue your flow or you can throw the exception. So for example, we are retrying the error, and after that we are if error still exists, we are going to the next action. But I want to go to a particular label, or I want to jump to a particular position. Instead of the next action, I want to move to the line number 10, line number 20, something. Or means, for example, if we after the retry still we are getting errors, so what I want to do is, I want to jump to a label. So now what I can do is, I will create one error handling label, and inside this I will perform some actions. For example, I am sending an email. Okay, so what I can do is, if there is any error, so for example, I'm sending this email. Okay, let me disable this. For example, we want to send an error. We want to send an email if there is any error occurs in any of the action. Okay, so what we can do is, we can create a label, and inside this label we are sending the email, or we can create a subflow also. So what we will do is, we will go to the action in which we can get the error. So we will go to this own error, and what we will do is, we will do, or in case of all errors, we will continue the flow run, and we will go this should go to the label, and it will send the email error handling. Okay, so every time if we get any error in any of the actions, so it will directly go to this label, and it will send the error email to the support team or to the stakeholders. Okay, so it will directly jump to this one. And also we can create a subflow, and for example, instead of this, I want to create a subflow error handling or send email, something. So in case of error handling, in case of error, we can directly move the flow to that position, to that subflow. Okay, so if I want to, go to that Subflow. So what I will do is I will click on this new rule, and here I will select run Subflow. So run Subflow, and we have one Subflow error handling, and I will select this and input as expression. So you can directly add a variable name if your subflow name, if any variable contains the subflow name, so you can leave the variable here as well. Okay, so now this time what it will do is it will so I don't want to retry. If there is any error, I want to call this subflow, so it will run the subflow as soon as there is any error. Okay, and after that we can continue the flow run to next action. We can repeat the action as well. We can go to next action, or we can throw the error as well. Okay, so as soon as there is any error, it will go to the subflow, and it will perform all the actions whatever we are doing in that subflow. Means we are sending the email, or we are managing the errors. After that, it will come back to this main flow, and it will continue the flow run. Okay, so let me show you. So if we run the flow, it will go to this error handling subflow, and after that it will come back to this main subflow. So this is how we can manage the errors. And for example, in this case, it is throwing the error, and I want to customize the error message. So what I can do is I can go to this new rule, and I will select set variable, and I can assign some values to the variable. For example, if there is any error in this section, so I want to write a message, and let me rename this to error details or error message, failure message, some. So let me click on save. So when we run the flow, it will assign this value to this error message, and we can use this error message to for further processing. Means in email OD we can add this error message, or when we are throwing the error, we can use this as well. Options under advanced tab. Either it will fail to launch the Excel itself, or it is failed to open the Excel document. Okay, so these two are the possible exceptions. So for this also we can set the new rule. So if there is any failure during launching the Excel, so we can run a particular subflow, and we can set the variable means fail to launch the Excel. And in another scenario, we can write fail to open the Excel file. So this will give more clarity to the user, or to the end user who is monitoring these ports, means what exactly went wrong. In our scenario, it is unable to get the file, so it should go to this action, fail to open Excel document. Similarly, there can be multiple scenarios of in other actions as well, but in this launch Excel we have only two possible scenarios. Okay, and also if you want to launch that error handling window, means this one on error window, so you can directly double click on this. It will open this window. All right, so this is how we can manage the error of a particular action. But for example, we are using 100 or 200 actions in our workflow. So in that case, shall we go to each action individually, then open this, and then assign the values to these parameters? No, we can simply do one thing. We can go to action pane, and in flow control, we can use this on block error statement, and it will mark the beginning of a block to handle action errors. So for example, this is our main block, or any name you can give it. Okay, so this is the main block, and I will click on save. This is the ending of the main block. So whatever actions I want to add, I will add inside this block. Now if there is any error in any of these actions, so that we can manage from this on block error action. So all the rules or setup which we did in on action level in this launch Excel. So all those things we can do on the block level. So if we want to apply same exception handling on all of these actions, so we can create this block, and here we can apply all those things. We can select whether we want to continue the flow run, whether we want to throw the exception in case of any error, and whether we want to create new rules, means we can run a particular subflow, we can assign value to the variable, and also we can capture unexpected logic errors as well. On block level, we can see there are extra functions, means we can go to next action, we can repeat the action, we can go to level, these three are common, and we can go to the beginning of the block, and we can go to the end of the block. These two are the extra actions. For example, if I select this, go to beginning of the block, then if in case of any error in any of these action, for example, if there is an error in line number 4, then it will resume the processing from the line number 2. Similarly, if we want to end this block, means if there is any error in any of these action and I want to go to the end of the block, so in that case we can select that another parameter. Okay, and as we selected as we applied the rules, so if I want to call any subflow in case of any error, so we can select that subflow, and we can create a new role as well. So this is how we can manage the error handling on multiple actions in one step or in one go. No need to go to each action individually and set up all those things. Just create a block and perform your error handling. Now, one thing, for example, I want to get the details of the last error. For example, if we have any error in this block and after executing this block, I want to capture that error. So what I can do is I can use this action get last error. It will retrieve the last error that occurred in the flow. Whatever last error we have gotten, it will capture that, and it will store the error into this last error last error variable, and after that we can clear the error as well. For example, after saving the error in this variable, we can clear the error. In this message box, we are going to print this last error. And in this block, what I want to do is, if there is any error, continue the flow run and go to the end of the block. Okay. So now in our scenario, we will get an error in this line number 2, and it will go to the end of this flow, this block. And after this, it will go to this line number 6, and it will capture the error, the last error, and it will print that error. So let me run the flow. See, the flow has jumped to this line number 5, and then 6, then 7. So we are getting this subflow main action. And one thing, let me show you. So this last error, when I open this, you can see the data type of this variable is error, and this error type contains 3 type of attributes: location, error message, error details. Okay, in location we can see the path or the details in which action we are getting the error, in which subflow we are getting the error, and in which action we are getting the error, and the line number of the action. And in error message we are getting this error message, failed to open this Excel document, and in error details we are getting these type of details. So what I want to do is I want to extract this error message only. Okay, error message. So what I can do is I can use this last error variable. So when we go to this variable palette, we can see this last error, and when I expand this, so we can see lot of attributes of this last error, and I need error message. So I will select this. Okay, so last error dot message. I will click on save, and let me run the flow again. Similarly, if you need the location of the error, then also you can get that by using last error dot location. See, here we are getting only message. Now we can use this error message or error location for further processing, means whether we want to throw this error or whether we want to send an email, whatever. So we can use this as per our requirements. Similarly, in some actions, we don't have that functionality, like in loop, we don't have that function own error to manage the error of this. So we can put these type of action inside on block error. So we can put this inside our on block error. So if there is any error in this loop stage, for example, if I give a or something, so then it will throw the error. We are getting this error, so this function to run the flow is disabled. But in case if we are getting the error, for example, if we are getting this value of start from and during runtime, so in that case we will this loop stage will throw the error. For example, we are performing some actions in our main subflow and we are launching the Excel, we are reading the Excel data and we are closing the Excel. So in case of error in any of these action, what I want to do is I want to call this error handling subflow, and in this we are getting the last error and we are displaying that error. Or either we can send that error as a email to the team, to the support team or to the stakeholders, means there is some issue with the Excel file. Okay. So whatever we want to do is we can do during error handling. So now see in this block error, what I have done is uh, if there is any error, so we are calling the subflow, and after that we are continuing the flow run to, and we are going to the end of the block, because if there is any issue with any of these actions, so we can't perform the next action. Means if we are unable to launch the Excel, so we can't read the data from the Excel worksheet. So if we can't read the Excel worksheet, so no need to close the Excel, just throw the error only. Okay. So now let me run the flow. See, it is going to the subflow and it is displaying the message. Argument instance must be Excel instance. Okay. So this is the error we are getting. See, there are two types of error handling. One is on action basis, action based, and another one is on block based. So if we have applied both on an action, means in this action we have applied action based error handling as well, and this is the part of this block, and on block level also we are performing. So this action based error handling will override the block level error handling. So in this scenario, you can see what we are doing is we are continuing the flow to the next action. Okay. So when the flow is coming to this, so it is continuing the flow to this next line, and in this line we are not getting the Excel instance, because this Excel instance has not created, because we have some issue with the line number 2. But in line number 2 we are not calling the error handling, so it is not getting the details of that error. It is just storing the result in this last error variable. And if there is any error in launch Excel, so it is going to the next action, and the details of the error, the details of the last error are getting overwrite by this error which we are getting in line number 3. So we are getting that error in line number in this subflow. But if we remove this error handling, okay, so now it will follow the error handling of this block only. And you can see we are not getting any icon here because there isn't any error handling applied on this action. So now it will throw the error which we are getting in this line number 2 only. It will not go to the line number 3. See, now we are getting this failed to open Excel document. And in this we can see the action 2 and action name is launch Excel. So this is how we can apply it. We can apply error handling on action or on a particular block, and this block can contain multiple actions. And instead of calling subflow, we can directly go to this label also. So we can this label thing and this subflow things too, these are two different uh scenarios. Means after getting error I want to run the subflow, and after running the subflow I can go to that label. I can continue the flow run and I can go to the label. Okay, and here I can select the label. So for example, what I want to do is if there is any error and I want to continue the flow run till the end. So this label will denote the end of the flow. So I want to stop the boat kind of. I need to update the label name, which is end of flow. Okay. So in this case, if there is any error, it will directly go to this label and it will end the flow. So this is all about error handling in the Power Automate desktop. In upcoming videos, we are going to use all these actions of error management. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. So do let me know if you still have any doubt or any question in any of that topic. Thank you guys for watching this video till end.